completely different because that was where you call it the beginning of the end of a dynasty. Well, I mean, it feels like it's a bit of hyperbole, but it's hard to argue what's happened since. New England 8-9 since, even though they pulled one out on Monday night. We'll wait to hear from Bill and Cam with their thoughts on the victory. Big culprit's been the passing offense. No team's thrown fewer touchdowns. Only 4 teams have averaged fewer yards per pass attempt. We are joined now, as we are each week, by Ryan Clark. And Ryan, the Patriots for so many years were the standard bearer in the AFC. And as we take a look at where things stand right now, Pittsburgh's got the 1 seed, but Kansas City are the reigning champs, and until anybody knocks them off, I imagine that they're the team you see and most see as the best in the AFC. What is it about them, even when they play close games, that doesn't shake your belief in who and what they are?
Listen, think about the Kansas City Chiefs, Scott. If they don't have a D Ford offsides penalty, they've gone to the last 2 Super Bowls. They have the reigning Super Bowl MVP and the guy who won the MVP before that. They're creative, they're explosive, and they find ways to win. You know what's happening? We're starting to view the Kansas City Chiefs like a great university, like a great college team. It's like watching Alabama. We don't watch them to know if they win or lose. We want to see how bad they blow teams out. They aren't judged like the rest of the teams in this league, and it's mainly because of their quarterback. But when you look at this teams when they play against very good teams, the Baltimore Ravens was a blowout. Anytime they need to come up in the clutch, they've done that throughout the season except for the Raiders game. And we have seen this happen in the playoffs 2 years in a row, that Patrick Mahomes can get down and bring a team back. I think when you've seen that, when you've experienced that, and you know that, and that team is still 7-1 this year, they have to be the front runners for the Super Bowl in the AFC.
It's a great point you make, Ryan, because like Pittsburgh played down to its level with Dallas and they win, but you say, okay, you're 8-0, and they find ways to win, and they've been stressed more than maybe an 8-0 team perception-wise should be. But you, I believe, think they're the team that presents the biggest roadblock to the Chiefs long-term. Why is that?
Well, one, because I want them to, because I'm a Steeler, but I judge them harshly, and I'm with you. When I watch some of these ugly games, I start to think to myself, is this team that good? But they are. You have 2 guys on the outside that can rush the quarterback, and then Cam Hayward in the middle that can get pressure in his face, and you can play zone behind that and make Patrick Mahomes throw the football in front of you. But you need a clutch quarterback to beat Patrick Mahomes. The only time we've seen him go down in the playoffs was to Tom Brady, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have been Roethlisberger. And every time the Steelers have needed Big Ben to step up this season, especially late in games, he's done it. Whether it was the Dallas Cowboys, the Tennessee Titans, we also saw the same thing against the Baltimore Ravens in the game that they were actually outplayed. You need that type of finisher at your quarterback position. When he looks over to the other sideline and sees Patrick Mahomes, there will be no quit, there will be no fear, there will be no frightening Ben Roethlisberger. He can pull off a win against a great quarterback like that.
Which team would be giving you and me side-eye right now saying, wait, excuse me, we're right here. Who would be next in line?
It got to be the Tennessee Titans. This is the team that went to the AFC Championship last year. This is the team that beat the Baltimore Ravens at home last year, who were the #1 overall seed. If you're the Tennessee Titans, all you're saying to yourself is all we've done is win. Now you have Desmond King. Adoree Jackson is back. You're finding ways to pressure the quarterback. You have a stellar game against the Chicago Bears after having 2 down weeks, but you know how you're built. Mike Vrabel's going to be physical up front. He's going to turn the football over, then give it to Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill to finish. And the reason I put them over the Baltimore Ravens, even the Buffalo Bills, is because it's the only other team that has a quarterback and has a system and a head coach that we've seen move on recently. They were the team facing the Kansas City Chiefs last year, and they could be the team that does it again.
You know how much I enjoy talking football with you, but you also know the way America thinks. And right now, I'm sure they're wondering what I was when you sat down. Where's the fireplace? We're so familiar with your fireplace. I'm concerned about what's going on right now, Ryan.
Hey, man, I had to move it to the back of the house. You know, the fireplace was all pretty. It was all set up for you guys. I lost my router today. We've been trying to figure it out all day, man. And you are so important to me, Scott. I said, if everybody has to wake up, then they just have to wake up. This has to get done.
Well, my apologies to the Clark household. Please tell them that we're grateful for Dad's time and their hubby's time, and everyone can go to sleep, and so can you. As always, I appreciate you, my friend.
Oh, man, have a good one.
All right. Got router problems. Got to sort that out. We got to fix this coronavirus SEC issue because it's massive impact all around. LSU, Bama, typically the game of the year in the league. LSU's already lost 3 times. Might not even be able to field a team as they try to avoid a 4th Saturday in Baton Rouge. They've got an outbreak within the program. They've already pushed the game back to that December 12th landing spot with the Gators. This one sounds pretty dicey. After reports Mississippi State had to pause activities, came word that with positive tests and contact tracing, they wouldn't have the minimum number of scholarship athletes for their game with Auburn. So that's been moved to everyone's open date, December the 12th. Texas A&M said Monday its game with Tennessee in Knoxville still on, but they too paused activities Monday after a player and staff member tested positive. Like all SEC and I think basically every college campus really, cases are spiking post-Halloween parties all over the country. Aggies are up to number 5 in the most recent poll. Arkansas just beat Tennessee. They moved to 3-3. Hogs announced head coach Sam Pittman tested positive. He was asymptomatic and isolating at home. He said, "I'm just disappointed and assuming the test wasn't incorrect and I don't get 3 negative tests in a row," which I'm hoping I do. Now, for the umpteenth time, this is the reality and the challenge of attempting to play around this virus, which is booming in terms of cases. Looking only at the SEC football piece, the positive of the negative is seen in a situation like, say, Florida. Look what happened down there. Dan Mullen got ripped for saying that he wanted 90,000 in the swamp for their LSU game. Then he tests positive. His team had to postpone the LSU game after cases exploded within their program. They shut things down. Nobody got so sick as to require hospitalization. They came back. They beat Missouri. They just smoked Georgia, and it's behind them. At least that episode is. As we know, it is ongoing and getting harder to dodge for schools, for conferences, for everybody, unfortunately. Coming up, Notre Dame, who dealt with their own situations with COVID earlier this year, are dealing with a much happier thing right now. That's knocking off Clemson. Quarterback Ian Book joins us to talk about that big victory. And also, how about some bad beats, big boy?
Well, some good wins.
Why is he smiling? Because your bad beat